Hello everyone and welcome back to Manier's page. This is the number one spot for EGD tutorials, and on other days we'll talk about other things. In today's tutorial though, we'll be looking at grade 11 perspective drawings. But if you're in grade 12, I also want to emphasize that the content that I'll be covering today is also suitable for you. So without further ado, practice, practice, practice. Let's go. The 2-point perspective question that I'll be focusing on today is from the Eastern Cape. It's a 2020 paper, so feel free to download it and print so that we can work. I want to show you the marking guideline first. Then after that, show you the process of how I would go about finding each and every corner and thus answering the question. First things up, vanishing points. What I'll do first is that I check that my page is aligned to my T-square. And as soon as I've established that, then I look at my top view. I place my set square on my top view to find out if it's aligned at 30 degrees. I realize it's not. So then I move it and then I place my 45-degree angle. Then when I see that it aligns, I'll be using it to draw my vanishing points. So how do I do that? I first align my T-square downwards. Place my 45-degree set square by the station point. From the station point, draw a line moving towards the right. That line will go up to the picture plane. I stop there at the picture plane, then draw a vertical line coming down to the horizontal line. Then I must label right vanishing point. To establish then my left vanishing point, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I take my set square, place it on my T-square, and this time, from the SP going to the left, I construct a line. I construct that line, I continue that line until it gets to the picture plane. Then from the picture plane, I'll draw a vertical line coming down at 90 degrees. And again, I'll label left vanishing point. Now let's begin constructing this point. Look at the top view, select a corner that's touching the picture plane, mark it as 1. Then identify the same point on the front view and mark that particular point as well as 1. Now, how do I construct the position and the height of this point? I take my set squares. I'm going to draw a horizontal line using my T-square from 1 on the front view. Then do the same, or rather, draw a vertical line from the top view coming down. This is the easy part because it's touching the picture plane. I can then mark the intersection as 1. I've found the height and position of 1. We now need to construct that point 2. So the advice here is to find a point that's directly connected to point 1. So you'd have to look at the top view and ensure that that point is also at the same level as point 1. So look at the front view. When you're done, then identify that point both on the top view and on the front view as point 2. The next thing that you want to do then is ask yourself the question, where is point 2 from point 1? In this case, it's on the left-hand side of point 1. It is also at the angle that we use to draw our left vanishing point. So now let's construct the height of point 2. That would mean we go to the front view and then draw a straight line that would go right to that point at point 1. And then from that point, send a line to the left vanishing point. This is the height line for point 2 because it's on the same level as point 1. Now to find the position of point 2, go to the top view, direct a line to the station point, draw a line that stops at the picture plane, then from that point there in the intersection, draw a vertical line down. The intersection there, you mark it as point 2. You've now found point 2. You found the height and the position of point 2. In finding this next point, I hope we can emphasize some of the principles from the previous point of point 2. So let's identify that point. Identify it and mark it as point 3. Then go to your front view, identify it again. I'm labeling that point as point 3. Now I must ask myself the same questions. Where is point 3 on our top view? Point 3 is on the left-hand side of point 1. It's connected to point 1 at 45 degrees. But point 3 is higher than point 1. So look, I'm going to then draw from point 3 a horizontal line that will stop at that one reference on that line. Why? Because that line or point is connected to 1. Then from that point there on that height, I'm going to send that to the left vanishing point. Now to find the position of point 3, I'm going to direct 3 to the station point, draw a line that stops at the picture plane, and then draw a vertical line down. The intersection, that is my point 3. And you can go back now and watch 2 again, and you'll see it's exactly the same thing we did. And you will see as we keep continuing with this video that it's what we do again and again. Now to finish off this part, I'm connecting points 1, 2, and 3. Let's identify now a fourth point. On my top view, I'm going to identify that point as point 4. Then look at the corresponding point on the front view and label that point as well as point 4. Take note, 1, 2, and 4 are on the same height on the front view. Now I must ask myself those questions again. Where is point 4? It's on the right-hand side from point 1. But there's something interesting there. There's a turn. A turn is a corner. So there's a corner from 1 before we get to 4. I need to interpret that as well. So that's the first thing I need to find. So on the drawing from point 1, which is now my reference, I'm going to draw a line to the right vanishing point this time. Now that I have that height reference, I need to find the position of the corner at the turn. So from the top view, I'm going to direct that corner to the station point, draw a line that will stop at the picture plane, and then draw a vertical line down. On that vertical line, or on that intersection rather, that's where the corner is. Now look what's happening again on the top view. That turn is directed to the left. So from that point on my drawing where I'm constructing, I'm going to direct that point to the left vanishing point and draw a line. But that line, I'm going to make it come out towards the right-hand side because it's on the other side. I don't need a line going to the left exactly. Now to find point 4, I've got my height. I'm going to direct point 4 on the top view, to the station point, stop at the picture plane, and then draw a vertical line down. And where it meets on that intersection, that is my point 4. For the next part, I want to do something that's a little bit different. I'm going to mark and label point 6 on my top view. Then now let's go to the front view and find the corresponding point and get point 6. Now, take note that point 6 is the highest point. What I will normally do is that I'll draw a line from 6 and take it to that reference at point 1. But instead of doing that, look carefully. I'm just going to draw a line from 6 going across. So that's normal. But instead of stopping at 1, this time I'm going to go to my top view and draw and extend actually point 6 onto the picture plane. Now, that's the new part, and that's it. We've done the rest again and again, which is what? To draw from that point down. That intersection going down is my reference height for point 6. And what do we do with reference heights? We send those again to what? To the left, to the vanishing point. In this case, it's the left vanishing point. And then to find the position of 6, I go to the top view. I direct point 6 to the station point, draw a line that stops at the picture plane, and then draw a vertical line down. Now that intersection is my point 6. In another video, I will show you how we could have done this differently by doing what we did to find point 4. But in this one, I just wanted to emphasize again how we would have found point 3, how we found point 2. Now let's move on and find point 7. So from 6 that we've just established, we know that point 7 is on the right hand side of 6. So from 6 on my drawing, I draw a line to the right vanishing point. I go to that top part on the top view. I direct that to the station point. Draw a line that stops at the picture plane, and then draw a vertical line down. 6 on my drawing, that intersection there, that is my point 7. Now I'm just going to begin to start making connections here. So from 4 to 6, from 6 to 7, I'm making my lines dark. 5 to 7, making my lines dark. I think we've covered as many ways to find different points as possible and in a lot of detail. So for the rest of this video, I'm going to speed run through the tutorial. But here are some summaries and reminders for you. Number one, you want to start constructing a point that's touching the picture plane. And then you want to begin to construct points that are directly connected to that first point at the angle that we used to draw our vanishing point. That will look like something like how we found point 1, then we found point 2, 3, and 4. In finding point 4, remember that there was a corner. So go back and look at what we did there. We used our vanishing point to help guide us find that particular corner of point 4. Lastly, if a point is not touching the picture plane, do something like what we've done in finding point 6. It's a little bit longer, but it explains in detail what it is that you have to do basically for every other point. That is to extend it, send it to the picture plane, send it down at 90 degrees, send the height across, etc., etc. I think that does it for today's lesson. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, please post them in the comment section and I will reply. Please like and subscribe and press that follow button so that you can get notifications for new videos. Thank you very much. This is Meniere's page.